Good morning and welcome. I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. We have a nice show for you today, and go ahead and get your coffee or your tea or some, I don't know, a little bit of breakfast to have, probably some leftover turkey. I am Mary Winters, and I am the host of Visionary Aging and the owner of About Senior Solutions. We provide geriatric care management, advocacy, and planning, and here to support our older adults and our disabled adults. And really the whole point of this too is to support and educate you so that you know what resources are available. And I have just some great friends and guests and experts in this area that have always agreed to come on and share their knowledge with you to make this a better situation for you and your family when you need some resources. And I think the thing that's so interesting is that we have so much power in being able to plan. And when we do those things, we have more control too. We plan weddings, we plan retirements, we plan vacations, but I want to make sure that you're planning for your safety and security in older age too. So today, we have a really fun little program, and we're going to be celebrating Hertha Cosgrove. She's turning 100 today, and we'll put a little twinkle in your wrinkle introducing you to her. We also have Steve McCullough. He has a great caregiver question, and it involves rehab after a fall and breaking something and getting back on our feet. And then I also have the fabulous Eileen Koons, who is the director over at Senior Care Network in Pasadena, California. And she will share with us what her programs are like. And in fact, they do things that are very similar to what About Senior Solutions does, but they serve a slightly different community and some community-based programs. So I'm really excited to be able to talk with her. So first, let me go ahead and find our little intro for Steve. Let's see if we can get this going here, get it right. Hey, Steve, you're not here yet. Hold on, let me grab you. I know you're here. Let's see. There you are. All right. I'll hide that and I'll hide that. How are you? How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. So how was your Thanksgiving?
How are you?
Good.
I'm good.
We have a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a lag, I can tell. But tell me, so somebody sent you a caregiver question. It was a really good one. Tell me what your caregiver question was for today.
Yes. So my caregiver question is from a friend whose mom had a surgery on her hip. And she's wondering what she could expect going through this process of helping her mom through the surgery and with the recovery, and just what will that entail?
Sure. So it like the standard attorney's answer is it depends, but it really does depend on how well she heals, how quickly she heals, what type of insurance she has sometimes, and who she has advocating for her. But typically the steps would be once she's in the hospital and they're able to repair that break, she would go to a skilled nursing facility, and she would be able to have additional rehab there, and they have physical therapy there, or perhaps it was her arm that she broke, and so they would use more occupational therapy. Think of occupational therapy from the waist up and physical therapy from the waist down for the most part, and more fine motor skills with the hands and so forth for occupational therapy. And then she can head home. If needed, she can even get additional physical therapy at the house. And so this process can last for a while. Some people think that, or they know on their insurance that they have 100 days of coverage, but check that insurance because it's not always 100%. So depending on if you have supplemental insurance or if you have an Advantage plan, it will all depend on kind of plan you have and how you progress. If you progress very quickly, then obviously you won't need to be in rehab or in the hospital as long. So it really just depends. Does that answer? I think that gives a pretty good, clear, unclear answer. I'm going to refresh you here.
Yeah, I'm just curious, what does inner
Which is what?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now you're back.
Okay, so just a quick follow-up question. With our COVID world that we live in, how is that impacted? Is that impacted by, and how is that impacted by what you just explained?
Yeah, that's a great
As
question,
far as
actually. As far as visits, it's really challenging. Eileen could probably even speak to that later. We have Eileen Koons from Huntington Hospital with the Senior Care Network program coming on. But it's been my experience that other than some professionals who would be coordinating care and that sort of thing, the hospitals really are not allowing any visitors. And the skilled nursing facilities as well. And there's some new rules with things opening up a bit depending on the cases that may be in an assisted living. So things are much more restricted, and other than maybe some hospice situations and sometimes someone passing in either of those settings, it's a little challenging to see your loved one right now, for sure. Yeah, it's very different. Oh, you know what? I was going to introduce Miss Cosgrove, and I haven't done that yet. She's turning 100, so I think I need to hustle and get back into her little intro. Is that okay? I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you at the end of the program.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Let's see here now. Let's get this going. So let's see. Here we go. I want to make sure that we introduce Eileen. She is with Senior Care Network, and she's been a long friend and a great mentor. And She is over at Senior Care Network, where they provide care management, which is not unlike what we do. The difference is it is more of a community-based program for low income. And they do serve the hospital community as well. And they do a lot of advocacy, care coordination, a lot of supporting individuals so we can prevent them from going to the hospital to begin with. And our older adults there, along with the disabled adults, they work very closely with, and they have a really fantastic caregiver support program too. Eileen really is an amazing leader advocating for seniors statewide, and she's involved in the MMSP Site Association Board, the Azusa Pacific University Social Work Department Advisory Board, and she's also with the USC Alzheimer's Disease Research Center Community Advisory Board and the Convalescent Aid Society Board, also a very interesting organization. She was awarded the Practice Change Fellowship during 2009 to 11 for leaders in geriatric care, funded by the John A. Hartford Foundation and the Atlantic Philanthropies. Would you please welcome my friend Eileen? Let's see if we can get her on here. Will it work? There we go. Good morning.
It worked. So impressive.
I know, it's the little things in life. It's so interesting here. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good, small, but good.
Yeah. I think everybody's
nice family get together.
Nice, that's great. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the programs, because they're, I throw out all these initials and little acronyms, and I think it'd be better just to kind of describe in a little more detail what it is that Senior Care Network out of the Huntington Hospital, what those programs are.
Sure. You know, thank you for saying out of Huntington Hospital, because it's kind of, some people don't realize we're a department of the hospital, and we are a community-based community benefit of Huntington, and we serve adults with disabilities, older adults, and family caregivers. And we do that, we have a mission to positively impact adults in our community. And so we do that by providing information, education, and support. And the information is in the form of, well, I guess it comes in a few different forms, but we have a community-based resource center that takes thousands of calls a year from older adults who themselves have needs, from family caregivers. You know, this is right now is a time of year, I know you know this too, Mary, but in normal times, family gather together who haven't seen each other all year. Of course, it changed this year, unfortunately, but they are our first screeners, basically. You know, they're our eyes and ears of a problem that may have come up since last year, and there's little alarm bells that go off in people's heads, and they say, you know, my loved one is struggling, how can you help? And so our resource center has resource specialists, gerontology and social work specialists who know about all kinds of community resources and make thousands of referrals a year to lots of things out there in the community. So this is a community benefit of the hospital. Anyone can call and ask us questions. It's a little different right now because of the pandemic. We're all working remotely, but you leave us a message or you send us a message on our website, and we'll call you back, and we'll get back to you and help figure out what's going on and resources that may be able to help the situation. A lot of that is educating people as well. So that's one-on-one education. And then the other thing I mentioned, education, we have some evidence-based educational programs about caregiving, about early memory loss, early stage memory loss. And those are, kind of structured small group programs that help people learn how to manage those situations better. And along with the education comes sort of a natural support that, people develop relationships with one another, and they go off and know who else that they are kind of in this together with, that they can also, contact and such. And then support, this is in the form of, you mentioned it earlier before I came on, care management services. And care management, when you're serving people with disabilities, older adults, it's probably the same, generally speaking, kind of the same broad model of care management is happening all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But what we mean when we say care management is providing a structured assessment, by professionals. Ours are nurses and social workers, public health nurses and professional social workers, that are looking for where are the strengths and where are the gaps to needs on a daily basis that you have. And then coming up with a plan of care that we develop with the individual, with their family, whoever they invite into the process.
Mm-hmm.
And then we monitor that, and we leverage various resources out there and help make sure that basic needs are being met and beyond. And then, that a person is able to live safely in the community. And then we periodically reassess to see if needs have changed. And so we develop in our programs, ours are long-term care management programs, and we work with people throughout the year and are checking in with them every month. Our social workers and nurses are checking in with them and seeing how they're doing. During this pandemic, of course, as you can imagine, new needs that emerged.
Exactly.
Just
so
like
they are able to get in.
Toilet paper would be an emerging need. And
it's flying off the shelves again too. It's pretty.
I know.
Wild.
Well, and along with that, maybe the same needs, but needing to meet those needs differently. So, for example, we all need to connect with others. We all need to maintain relationships. We may not be able to maintain those relationships quite the same way, but it's still important to maintain them. And so that's an important problem to solve. If you don't have the same access to people that, to your loved ones, how can we make that happen a different way? So we've been able to do some of that too. So our care management services, we do that through, I think one of the big differences with how you're doing it and how we're doing it is those programs are funded by Medi-Cal. Or, Medicaid is the national term for it, and Medi-Cal is California's term for it. And the point behind those programs is that we're helping people to avoid nursing home. So these are people who are all certifiable for living in a nursing home. Now, think a year ago, if I had said that, I'd be, sometimes I have to convince legislators who don't understand, what the aging process is all about. I have to convince them that our services help people to live independently, and it saves money, and it helps people stay out of nursing homes where they would really rather not be. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, this pandemic came along, and it kind of made the case for us about why we want to help people avoid nursing homes, right? So, that's like 600 people at any given time that we are serving outside of nursing homes who would otherwise be served in a nursing home, or dealing with the pandemic in the nursing home. So we're grateful to be able to help people stay independent and well outside the nursing home as well. And then we have a program, we partner with the health navigation nurses at Huntington Hospital, and we have kind of our senior care network social workers are partnering with them to provide this we attend to the social determinants of health, those things that aren't the, how do I take this medication, or what's going on with this medical, this symptom, but rather all those other kind of wraparound things that put people at risk and bring them back into the hospital if you don't take care of them.
Exactly.
And then we also have the last thing I'll mention is we have something called 50 Plus Health Connection program, and that is hospitals often have a membership program for older adults, This is our membership program that gives people access to, we do a newsletter, provide some information there. We also offer some health education lectures, a monthly health education lecture. And we offer discounts to, hospital, our gift shop and our cafeteria, which are a little hard to access right now, but in normal times, it's a nice discount.
Are you doing the meetings by Zoom right now, or are you able to do small group meetings? Or
we are. So our educational programs, the ones I mentioned, for people with memory loss and for caregivers, are being done by Zoom, and those are we invitation only. We are not invitation only, but you tell us that you'd like to participate, and then we'll interview you, make sure that you're able to access the resources, that it's an appropriate group for you. And then we give them a, password protected link. And then our health lectures, our monthly health lectures are actually audio only, because we figured that's really the platform that, you can pick up a phone and you can dial this number and you can dial the passcode and you can get in, and it's the least restrictive for, all people to be able to participate. Sure. And then the lovely thing about that's different, they used to be all in person, but the lovely thing about the lectures being online is we record them and then we post them online, and so you can listen later on demand.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
And are you finding that it is really challenging, or the majority of your population may not have Wi-Fi, or and especially older adults, it doesn't matter really economically where they are. Oftentimes they don't have the technology in their home. So what are you seeing kind of as a percentage of people that are able to access a computer and go into a Zoom call?
It's, I would say it's not age dependent. It's really all over the map though. There's a sizable percentage that they can access a lot on their phone. They have smartphones and a lot, so you can join Zoom on your phone. I mean, anywhere, right? You can be on vacation and you don't have to miss that support group meeting.
Right.
And then there's a large number who, and particularly, I think there is an socioeconomic divide here, that don't have reliable Wi-Fi. We're seeing that in the schools with young kids. I'm seeing that even in my own home with 5 of us at home trying to be on Wi-Fi at once.
Yes.
But with older adults, it's unpredictable. It's tough for a lot of people. And it's not just about the Wi-Fi, it's the whole setup.
I know.
The devices, the connectivity, the affording the problem solving. One day it's not working, the next day it is, it's all over the map. So It's a lot better than it used to be. A lot more people, have some sort of device that, not just their landline telephone. In fact, more and more people don't have a landline phone at all.
Sure.
But Wi-Fi, we're not quite there yet. It needs to become a utility. It needs to be something we all have reliable access to. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah. Are the doctors, do you know, I mean, this may be something you're not familiar with, are the doctors using more of the telemedicine to access the clients?
Definitely.
At home?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, both, right? Because not everything can be done by telehealth effectively. Not everybody is, open to that either. But yeah, even if it's by phone, I don't know about you, but I myself have had some just straight phone visits with my physician where a conversation does just fine. I can self-report symptoms. There's nothing she's got to look at, and we can come up with a plan of care that that works. But yeah, and a lot of our care management services, we used to be in the home quarterly with one of our programs, and then in another program we provide care management in assisted living facilities. We would see people face to face every month, and right now that's it's for the sake of safety and keeping people free from never mind the actual threat, but also the perceived threat of, no matter how much we take precautions, people are worried. People are, so if we don't have to put them at risk, and if we don't have to worry them, we do that, by phone or by video chat.
Great. Yeah, that's great. How do people, a couple things, how do people find you, but how does somebody qualify? Then do they just reach out to you and you do an assessment? Share a little bit more about how you're found and how people
So our sort of access point is our main phone number, which is, should I say it?
Sure.
Say it a couple times? Okay. 626-397-3110. So that's 626-397-3110. And our resource center is our main hub, where people who have questions about what they might qualify for, or any community resources that they need help, accessing or identifying, you would press option 1. So, when you dial the main number, then you press option 1. And another, in case you didn't have a pen with you, you can just call Huntington Hospital and ask to be connected to Senior Care Network, and they'll help you do that. And then also our website is the Huntington Hospital website. You can go to huntingtonhospital.org/SCN for Senior Care Network, SCN. And that will take you to a place where you can fill out a request. You can, send us a message basically and ask us to contact you. It's actually 3110.
Okay. I can't see because I'm trying to do this without glasses.
Yeah.
What was it?
3110.
3110. Okay. 3110.
You're so clever. I'm glad you're running all those controls and I just get to talk.
It's like it's 3110. There we go. There's the right number.
Okay, thank you.
Please feel free to call that number. And you work off of a lot of grants and funding, and I would imagine you're doing some fundraising too, but I would also imagine some of that is being stifled. So tell me a little bit about how you're doing with the programs. Are you in need of anything in particular, including donations? Tell me a little bit more. Not that was what we were planning on talking about, but I'm sure that I know that there's so many nonprofits that are really challenged right now to meet their budgets because they can't hold their events and so forth.
Right. So thank you for asking that question. So as I mentioned, we're a community benefit of the hospital. We do definitely, Huntington is a nonprofit hospital and depends upon donor support to do much of what the hospital is able to do that, goes beyond what we can bill for in terms of medical services. There's a big gap there for a hospital, particularly right now with the extraordinary costs of managing the pandemic and patients, and then the patients that we can't serve that we normally would be, like elective surgeries and elective procedures. But we are supported by our philanthropy department, helping to fundraise for, all the wonderful things that we do that nobody else is paying for. And so I would say if you are looking to help support that, I would love for you to contact our philanthropy department or contact me, and I'll help get you in touch with them. We are funded through Medi-Cal for our largest programs, our largest funded programs. And health plans are a part of that because health plans, as you know, administer Medi-Cal, and this is a benefit of Medi-Cal. At least one of the services I provide is a benefit of Medi-Cal for those who qualify. And then we have also wonderful support from the Huntington Collection, which
I love
the retail shop. Do a little retail therapy over there. They provide us, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it's over $9 million in the 35 years that we've partnered together. We've been in existence. Actually, this is our 36th year, if I've done the math correctly. And yeah, so they support us. And then, you know.
And if you haven't been there, they are open like retail is, and you wear your PPE. But it's fabulous. And do you have the address there? It's right there on. It's up Fair Oaks, right?
Oh, 766.
Put you on the spot there, but it really is one of my favorite places. And because people donate some beautiful things, they have some amazing things at wonderful prices to be able to purchase, whether it's artwork or furniture or little tchotchkes. And if you need to go over there.
I love their little boutiques. Don't happen to be wearing anything from them today, but often I am.
Oh, I've gotten some beautiful like little children's clothes from, you know, the 30s or 40s, the beautiful little linen things for my granddaughter. And I bought a piano there once. I mean, it's fun. And it's always
buy your china there for sure. They've got great rugs and, you know, furniture. I bought a sofa bed there that lasted us many years.
No, it's great. And then all of that, the proceeds go to you guys over at Senior
Care Network. Right.
Yeah. And I've also experienced the resource center that you have, and you have so many resources that you offer. It's just wonderful.
You know, and the thing really, I would say our secret sauce is our staff. You know, our staff are the heart of the work that we do. You know, they know how to quickly form relationships with people in need, to be relevant to them and to be a support to them. You know, really strangers moments ago, and talking with them and getting to know, you know, what's really going on. Tell me what's really going on. And very often, you know, they help elucidate what a need that you didn't really, you know, fully connect with. It's not like 411 where you say, give me this thing. This is what I know I need. Right. A lot of times when you're struggling with a loved one or yourself, you're struggling, you don't necessarily even know the questions to ask or the resources to ask for, because it's such a different niche, in our healthcare system, our healthcare delivery system. You don't have to know about these things until you need them.
Right.
And so you need to go to somebody that can help sort of guide you through that.
Right. So just tell me what your biggest problem is, and your team will know. And it's fantastic. So give a shout out for some names so that when people call, they'll actually know who they're going to be talking to.
So our first, they may be talking to Jackie. She's our administrative assistant, or they may be talking to Eddie or Nina.
That's great. And Jackie's great.
You know all of those names. They could be talking to Kristen or Carla.
Yeah.
We've got, I don't want to name them all. I'm going to get in trouble.
Sure.
But those are kind of our front end people. Kristen and Carla do our support groups, and Eddie and Nina and Zim provide the community resources. You know, take those calls as well, and do the health navigation. Then we've got a whole team, and this is where I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to have to just give you the roster. But really fabulous professional social workers, public health nurses that they're just. You know, and it's amazing to me during this pandemic is just to see them soldier on and just be, you know, we have to do everything differently right now, and they're making it work and they're figuring it out, and just so proud of, you know, their ability to continue, our ability to continue. I mean, it could have been sort of show-stopping, you know, if we didn't have, and never mind our IT department at the hospital and our, you know, HR department. I mean, we've had just our compliance department, all these other resources that have helped us to figure out how can we do these things in a HIPAA compliant way? How can we do these things, you know, technologically? These have been interesting times, but we're able to make it work. So,
and remote too, figuring out the remote, and like you said, maintaining the compliance and so forth. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, any last closing comments or things that we should be looking forward to and reaching out to Senior Care Network?
I would say probably at this point, we've got almost 1 in 5 people who are older in our society. I'm pretty sure that at least one person who's older. And I just encourage you, or, perhaps person with a disability who's not older per se, but I encourage, and all of us, really just reach out to others and check in. The question, how are you doing? How are you really doing? is a powerful one. And listen, because if there is something you learn from that and you don't know what to do with it, and some of the things I've said to you today or described to you today make you think that we can help, reach out to us, because you're not in this alone, but we all kind of need to help each other through this. I think this is a time where we need each other, and anything that Huntington and anything that Senior Care Network can do to help make that better and easier for you, that's why we're here.
Yeah. Exactly. And anything that we should be listening to in particular. So, we talked earlier about how getting together for the holidays has been such an eye-opener, or a real starting point where we really need to do something. We're doing it differently now by just trying to hear. Or do you think there's certain things that we should be listening for in their voices, or things we should in particular be asking? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot the last minute there. But what kinds of things are you experiencing when the families may call back up and say, I don't know, I'm not sure that she's really connecting like she was, or I live in Michigan with Mrs. Cosgrove, but you're here with my mom.
Yeah. So this is going to maybe sound a little strange for me to say, but I would say listen to your inner voice on that, your gut on that. Doing all you can to have a real conversation and listening to what, and right now, obviously I'm talking to caregivers, right? I mean, we're talking about a caregiver experience.
Yes.
So if a caregiver has concerns, listen to that, and follow up with that. There's a reason why you've got those concerns. You're not making that up.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for supporting our seniors and disabled adults and all the families that love them. And I hope you have a great holiday season, and we'll connect again.
Thank you. It is my privilege. It is our privilege to serve the community. I thank you so much. This is a great service that you provide as well, Mary. You are a pioneer in the gerontology world, getting our local community, resources and information out there. I appreciate it.
It's important. I really love it. So thank you.
All right.
All right. Have a great one.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Here we go. Oh my gosh, I just love her. She serves from the heart. She's just amazing. And I'm going to bring Steve back on with us, and we can just kind of close out. But I am, we're lucky people. We're this Pasadena, California area. We're so rich in resources and amazing people that serve our seniors and disabled, whether that's somebody who is, really struggling financially.
I hear you, Mary. I'm so sorry.
Support. So what do you think? What did you think of Eileen and Senior Care Network? We're definitely having a lag with Steve here in our being able to hear us. So let me see if I can reset him. Chris again. I want to be able to connect and just see what he thinks. Are you able to hear us, Steve? He's still not going to be able to hear us, I don't think. So I am going to go ahead and wrap up our show. Steve.
I think I lost you, Mary.
Oh, yeah, but you didn't. You're right here. You just can't hear us today. So I am going to go ahead.
Now I hear you.
That's great. So what did you think?
You have the best guest, Mary.
Well, we have a really great community of people. This is a great community.
I think I've told you this before, but I'm just so
Yeah. I know we're having a hard time hearing you, Steve. So I'm going to go ahead. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the questions that you always have for us. And please, if you have a question for Steve, just forward it to info@aboutseniorsolutions.com so that he can go ahead and ask that question for you. And
can you hear me, Mary?
Yeah, we hear you off and on a little bit, but you're not very understandable. I think we've got a little lag. So in any event, please also jump onto our site and go to aboutseniorsolutions.com/visionary aging and take the quiz and see where you're at in your process so that we can help you and send you to resources like Senior Care Network if that's the right resource for you or someone else. So Steve, have a fantastic weekend.
You too, Mary.
I hope you have a good one, and I am going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. So
you as
here
well.
we go. All righty, here we go.